The morning you locked your mortgage rate, your lender turned around and protected it against the exact rate, probably before you got home. The bank never gambles on where rates are headed. You're the only one at the table who does. So today I want to show you 3 things. The trade Wall Street runs on every loan in your town, the copycat version people pitch online with one famous bond fund. I ran the actual numbers on it, and the version of the hedge you can get for free because I hand it to clients every week. Quick refresher, because everything else hinges on it. Your mortgage rate is not decided in a boardroom. It rides with the bond market, especially the 10-year Treasury yield, plus a markup on top. This week's average, we're going to say, is around 6.65. The 10-year is sitting around 4.69, and the gap between the two numbers is called the markup. Call it 2 points right now. When the bond market moves, your quote moves with it, sometimes in the same afternoon. Now, think about what a rate quote is from the lender side. They promised you today's rate for the next 60 days without even wiring any money yet. If the rate jumps a half a point next month, they still owe you that rate, and nobody's eating the difference. So they don't hold the risk. The day you locked it, your loan gets pre-sold in the market at today's price. Rates can do whatever they want after that. The lender has its price. That's the hedge. Every lender in the country runs it on basically every loan, every business day. It's about the least exciting thing on Wall Street. And it tells you something. The professionals looked at holding rate risk and decided not to do it even for 1 week. So, can you do the same thing? The version you'll see online is by TLT. That's the ticker for the big iShares fund that holds long-term Treasury bonds. The pitch sounds reasonable. Mortgage rates follow Treasury yields, so you own Treasuries and you're covered. 2 problems with that though. The first one is the label, right? Your mortgage rides on a 10-year Treasury. That fund doesn't hold 10-year bonds, it holds 20s and 30s. People reach for it because it's famous and because it moves a lot per dollar. But it is not your rate. The second problem is bigger than that. It's direction. Owning a bond fund pays off when rates fall. If you're waiting to lock a mortgage, the thing that hurts you is rates going up. So if you buy that fund while you wait and then rates rise, now the payment's higher and the fund is losing money at the same time. You didn't hedge the bet, you doubled it. And half of the people pitching this trade have never noticed. Let me make it concrete with a buyer I see every week. $425,000 loan closing in 60 days. Today's quote 6.625, and they hate that rate, right? You were hoping for something in the 5s. So you tell your loan officer, let's wait and see what rates do. There's a word for that, and it deserves its card. Float. Choosing not to lock and accepting whatever the market does in the hope it improves. In plain English, no lock, no protection. You're riding the market and hoping it's kind. Sometimes it is kind. You should still know what the other side cost. In the fall of 2022, the average 30-year climbed about 1.5 points in 9 weeks. That fits inside one escrow period. So you catch a smaller version of that, half a point against you. We'll say 6.625 becomes 7.125. On this loan, the payment goes from $27.21 to $28.63, $142 a month difference just to keep the loan. Run it in full 30 years and it's about $51,000. 2 things. If this is helping you, tap the like button and hit subscribe. And the second, I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer. This is the type of things I do all day. If you want to go through your exact situation, the QR code and my email address are on the screen. Both of them are also in the description and the pinned comment, which is the top comment in the comment section. Book a free call with me or just email me. Want to run it yourself? I have a free refinance calculator link down there as well. So could a short position against that bond fund cover the damage on paper? Sure. Here's what it takes in practice. A half a point move in a long-term rate swings that fund roughly 8%. To claw back what the half a point just cost you at the table, call it $8,500, which is about what it would cost to buy the rate back. You'll need to be short that fund, $106,000 short in that fund against a $425,000 loan. That means a margin account collateral borrowing cost. Real Wall Street plumbing in the name to protect one escrow. And if rates fall instead, the short loses $8,500 in actual cash right when you should be celebrating the better rate. Most people run that experience exactly once. 2 more holes and I'll stop beating on it. Your rate is the 10-year Treasury plus the markup, and the markup moves on its own. It's been anywhere from 1.5 to 2 in the last few years, and no Treasury position anywhere covers that piece. And when the hedge does win, the profit lands on that year's tax return, while the damage is offsetting drips out over 360 payments. So that's the honest answer to can you? You can. It's expensive. It's the wrong bond. It can't see the markup, and the direction is backwards in half pitches. Wall Street doesn't run its hedge this way, neither should you, because everything the pros were doing in that story, you can get over the phone in one sentence. Rate lock, a commitment that holds your rate for a set number of days. In plain English, the market can move after you lock and your rate does not. This is the whole point. Look at what that actually is. The lender takes the rate risk off, hedges it on the bond market the way they hedge everything, and hands you the finished product. Your exact rate, not a cousin of it, no wrong bond problem, no markup problem, nobody calling you about a margin call. A longer lock costs a touch more, and you measure that price in 1/8 of a point, not in thousands of dollars. Some lenders offer a lock with a float down. You're locked, and if the market improves before closing, you get one chance to grab a better rate. Cost a little, does exactly what the bond fund trade was pretending to do. The rule I give clients is simple. Lock when the payment works, not when you have a feeling. If the deal only works at a rate you're hoping shows up, you don't have a rate problem, you have a budget problem. If it works today, take it off the table. And if the rate on the table really is higher than you can live with, there's a way to buy a lower one. Buy down. Paying money up front to get a lower interest rate. In plain English, money now for a cheaper payment later. The question is always, how long until it pays back? The part people miss, that upfront money doesn't have to be yours. In a slower market, I get sellers and builders to fund buy downs all the time, in the same negotiation as asking for money off the price, and usually does more for a monthly payment. Now, let's flip the whole thing around. Say the closing already happened 7.125 last year, and every time rates come up on the news, you wince, because the day you signed something quietly great happened. Fixed rate mortgage, a loan where the rate and the principal and interest payment stay the same for the entire term. In plain English, the rate is locked for as long as you have the loan. It cannot move. Rates could go to 9 tomorrow and nothing happens to you. And if rates fall, you refinance. There's no trade on Wall Street that clean. And you picked it up at the closing table, which brings me to the pitch aimed at people like you. Let your investments pay your mortgage interest. I want to run that out loud because the sentence sounds wonderful and the arithmetic has a surprise in it. Interest on that loan starts around $2,500 a month. For a bond income to cover it, and I'll give you a 5% generous return, you would need over $600,000 in bonds sitting next to your $425,000 balance. Anybody holding that account doesn't need a strategy. They can pay off the house outright and keep the $180,000. And in the meantime, the trade runs at a loss. You're paying about 7% on the loan while the bonds pay about 5%. On this balance, that gap cost you roughly $9,000 a year before tax. Here's who the sentence actually works for. The guy with the 3% loan in 2021, his money market pays more than his mortgage cost him. But the trade was placed on the day he locked at 3%. And you can't place that trade today. Today it runs backwards. One honest flag before the last part here. I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer, not a financial advisor. And nothing in this video is investment advice. I'm running the math so nobody sells you the trade without it. So what do you actually do with a 7% loan? 3 moves. All are boring, but all are real. 1, extra money against the balance earns you a 7.125 guaranteed. No market, no waiting, and no tax bill on the interest you never pay. At the rate, the loan itself is the investment that pays your interest. I made a whole video arguing the other side of this on my 3% loans. At 7, the argument would flip. 2, know your trigger number before the market hands it to you. There is an exact rate at which a refinance starts paying you back, and it depends on your balance and your rate and what the refinance cost. My refinance calculator figures that number for you, and you can set a rate alert for the day the market crosses it. The refinance stops being a thing you fill and starts being a thing that you're going to schedule. 3, if you're setting cash aside for the future, refinance anyway, keep it reachable. Some people park a slice of it in Treasury, so the fund grows exactly in the world where they'll spend it. Rates fall, refinance shows up, and the account is worth more than the same week you need it. Just understand, a long bond fund drops hard when rates back up. Small and boring beats big and clever here. So here's the whole video in 4 sentences. Wall Street's secret on mortgage rates is that it refuses to hold them. It locks immediately every time, and the lock sitting on your loan officer's desk is the same hedge with your name on it. If you're buying, lock when the payment works. And if the rate's too high, buy it down, ideally with the seller's money. If you already own your rate, can't rise, the refinance is your trade. And your job is knowing your trigger number before the market crosses it. The best rate protection a regular person can get is a locked loan and a plan. One last thing, if you want me to look at your numbers, I have the QR code and the email address back on the screen, and the links are in the description and the pinned comment. Book a call or email me. There's no pressure either way. I'll see you in the next one.